All right, this is a treat because it's rare that I get to go journalist to journalist. Sharrie Williams from the ABC affiliate in Philadelphia. You know how you can find her, but journalist to journalist.
Yes, good to see you.
What brings you to a film festival?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be a part of this festival, and it's my first time here, may I say that, on Martha's Vineyard. But to be a part of the premiere of Unraveling George, Michael Tollin, who is leading this project, asked me to come aboard to help tell the story about George Raveling and his impact, which, of course, a lot of people in Philadelphia know who he is because he played at Villanova, but his story resonates well beyond that. So as a journalist, we look to tell stories, and this is one that I think, deserves the attention that it's getting.
Now, why George Raveling? You said the people of Philadelphia know him well, but what is your tie-in with that?
Yeah, well, it's really because I'm in Philadelphia as a journalist there, one who cares about the history, and it's a rich history in the Philadelphia region, and I love basketball. I love to tell good stories, and it's really in knowing Michael Tollin. He knows the way that I like to approach storytelling and stories that deserve to be spotlighted. I think we share in that connection, and he asked me to be a part of it, and I think a big part of it is because of my ties to the Philadelphia region.
As a black woman in journalism and a storyteller, what are hurdles that you face every day, that you clear every day? What are some of them?
I think along my journey, it's really people may tend to doubt, what can you do? And what I like to tell other women who are coming up in similar capacities, and it really doesn't matter what the industry is, the best way to shut people up is just be good at what you do. Say
that again.
Yeah, and that's the level of advice that I have received, and a strong foundation from my own parents. And that's it. People sometimes try to size you up based on the identities that they see, and I know that. But so as a woman, it's really about then showing up, doing the work, let people know that you're more than capable of doing the work, and be good. Know your craft and go for it. So those are typically the hurdles you may have to, face on a daily basis until people see that when you open your mouth, you have something to say.
As a journalist who deals in facts and storytelling that has direct impact with a community, do you see yourself, or do you see parallels with other creatives that are in the film industry and the stories that they might be trying to tell?
Yeah, I think what we share in the journalism world and the filmmaking world is the storytelling aspect. And what does that mean? You want to get it right and show people in the best represented light possible for the essence of who they are, but at its core, can you go a little bit more in depth into the truth? This film is an example of that, and what I love about it is in the film, the truth is called out. And as a journalist, you love to have receipts and show people like, no, this is really how it went down, or this is how it really happened. And so you get some of that as they talked about the film that was out there and that pertained to Michael Jordan and what pushed him into Nike. And then in this film, you really see what's the true story behind for Michael Jordan to grasp his first introduction to Nike. No, the truth was it was George Raveling. So I think the parallel is you can have an idea about something, but then we are able to present the facts, put the voices to go with it, and then let the audience be able to walk away with a different and hopefully the correct perspective, so they can share that more in the conversation.
I am going to go off script for a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you as a fellow journalist, and to help also settle an argument that has popped up, where do you see our art form or our science of journalism going with the rise of social media and TikTok and Instagram and streamers and people getting their news or their stories from unreputable sources?
Yeah.
Where do we stand? Where do you think we stand in the fight against this? And how do we stay strong?
Yeah. Well, there will always be what we call disruptors. Have they become more prevalent in the last 10 years? Absolutely. We know what linear TV has been and the strong foundation that it's built on. So with that, there is a built-in intelligence around when real news happens and when things are breaking. people are still coming to the trusted sources. And we know that. We know that in Philadelphia. We know that across the markets where our ABC affiliates are that are a part of the Disney brand. And when you know that this is the real bread and butter of what you do, then that is where people will turn. Yes, you can listen to Joe in the basement and you can listen to Carla in the backyard. But if you want to hear people give reporting that is rooted in voices, data, and facts, people know where those foundations are. It's our job, though, to remind people and to convince people. If people are getting their information on a certain social media platform, we have to be there. If they're getting it from a certain website or a supplier, we know we have to be there. So I think it's making people more aware that we are in those spaces also and that we are a choice. And the truth, I think, in the end, it wins.
Sharrie Williams, if you don't know, get familiar, a journalist. Yes. You are impressive and incredible. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.